Joining us now here on In the Circle, she set 5 single-season records in her first year at Houston. Of course, she's a first-team all-preseason Big 12 honoree, coming off a monster year, of course, from Houston. I speak of Turiya Coleman joining us here in the Circle. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. How were you able to transition so easily last season? That's my first question. A lot of times you go to a new school, maybe there's a transition period. You didn't show it if you did because you had an incredible season. So just talk about the transition of coming to Houston.
I definitely use the fall as a time for me to transition, but the coaches and being with my family and just the team made it very easy to, come to a new program and, adapt to them. So they made it very easy for me.
You were just named preseason All Big 12 Conference. Any reaction to that? I mean, it's just the preseason, but still, you're going to be known as the first Houston player ever to be honored in the Big 12 for an all conference honor like that with preseason. Any pride in that?
Yeah, it's definitely an honor to like represent my school and to be, honored alongside of some of the greatest, players out there in the country right now. So it's definitely an honor. So I'm just glad that I can represent Houston and my school.
Describe this fall and what's it been like? You've gotten to know a lot of new faces on the team. What has that been like getting to know some of your new teammates this year and blending in?
It's definitely been a journey, adjusting to everybody new since like we have a new team. But it's been fun, learning different players and learning our new coaches. And I think we really bonded over the fall and the beginning of the spring. So I think we have some good talent and we're gonna go long ways this year.
What did you learn about yourself in the last year playing? You got a chance to play, had that great year that I talked about. What did you learn about yourself and what did you work on to possibly be better, which is kind of scary, but I'm sure there are things you picked out that you think you could be better at.
Yeah, definitely. I just think that I trusted, my process, trusted the coaches, and I think that allowed me to, become the person I am now. And I just, being with the team, I just learned from the girls, and so I think they really helped me this year and the previous years.
Coach Vesley told me she's trying you in multiple different positions. Make sure you're in there, and particularly catcher.
Mhm.
What has that been like for you to be now more catching? Obviously, catching a new pitching staff. What has that been like from a defensive standpoint?
Well, I love to catch, so I was a catcher before. So, it's been fun getting back behind the dish and learning the pitchers. And so I knew like Nicole, I knew her previously. I got to play with her in travel ball, but learning the new pitchers has been really fun and working with Coach Hope with the pitchers. So I think we're gonna have a good little dynamic there.
What you said you've caught before, is it like riding a bike? You're comfortable back there, or has it been or has there been a bit of an adjustment period?
There's a little adjustment, coming from the hot corner to moving the catcher, but it is a little bit like riding a bike, have to knock some of the dust off. But yeah, I think I think this fall working all catcher, it's been good.
For those that haven't watched you play, describe what kind of player are you?
I think I'm very calm, cool, and collected. I don't like do too much, but I like to, show by my talent. I like to walk the walk instead of talk the talk.
When you mentioned Hope Trotwine, did you know each other? I would assume with your ties a little bit prior to her coming, or what's it been like having her on the staff as well as Nadia Taylor, who's your hitting coach now?
Yeah, so I actually played with Hope my freshman year at Oklahoma. So I already knew her prior to this year. So it's been fun, talking to her and working with her as my coach. So I love that. And Coach Nod has really been an impact to our team, being our hitting coach and our infield coach. So I'm really excited to see how we are this year with her and with both of them actually.
See, the truth is, I knew you played with Hope, but I wanted you to say it so that way she feels old when she listens to this. It came from you, not from me. That's very good. What are some things you've picked up from Nadia? What's it like? I mean, here's a player who's still playing, one of the
Mhm.
best ever. What has that been like getting to know Coach Taylor?
Well, I love that she's still playing, so she's like going through it with us. She like does some of the things with us, so I love that. But I learned a lot from her defensive wise and hitting wise, and I love that she can show her at bats and she can like show us what we should be doing or what we are looking for. So that's really awesome being able to see it and then, mimic it from her. So I think this year will be great for, our hitting because we have her and we can learn so much from her.
Let's talk a little bit about you. What growing up, what got you into playing softball?
So I started playing softball because my cousins, they were playing in a league and, we were like, oh, do you want to play? And I was like, oh, sure. So that's how I started playing softball. It was nothing serious at first, but then, after my first few years, it just stuck with me and I kept going with it.
You obviously ended up going to Oklahoma, then you
Mhm.
transferred to Houston, which I believe was a big part of that was coming home closer to home. Is that accurate? Just
Yes.
tell me through that journey, going to Oklahoma and then deciding, you know what, I want to go closer to home in Houston.
Yeah, so my dad, he is a big part of my life. He loves watching my games and he loves to be there in person. He rather, see me in person than watch on the TV. So that he was a big reason, my family was a big reason for me coming home because I love playing in front of them, like just looking in the stands and seeing my whole family there. And I have younger siblings. So just being able to go home on the weekend or just to see them often was a really big part of me coming home, but I also just love the program here. They just had a program that fit with me and the academics, everything was just like it was just perfect for me to be here.
Did that help you too with having success on the field? You were just comfortable. You're closer to home. The family's there. They could drive there. They're in the stands. Did that also make you more comfortable knowing, hey, I'm in, home basically? That helped you probably produce on the field a little bit more, right?
Oh, definitely. Definitely being with my family and seeing them at the game definitely helped me perform better than I would have, I think, if they weren't there.
Obviously, this is a historic year for the program. It's the first year in the Big 12 for the program, but this is not the first year for you
No.
necessarily. So, what's that like for you? It's kind of unique because you're now back in the Big 12 and you're going
Mhm.
to help lead this program to a year that people will be talking about 20, 30 years from now as that first Houston team to ever participate in the Big 12.
It's definitely an adjustment for me because in the Big 12 before I wasn't really, a star on the team, playing on the team. So now that I can, play and be able to be with my team on the field and help, like just lead them to wins in the Big 12, that is going to be awesome for me. Like that's just going to be like a huge like accomplishment that I think we can really go far now.
Do you give players advice on what it's going to be like in the Big 12? Maybe not necessarily just on the field, but hey, some of the travels, because you're probably going to be familiar with some of the trips, road trips.
Yeah, we talk about it. We do have some players that have come from the SEC, and so we all talk about the changes from leaving the American Conference and what it's going to be like, and some of the obstacles we may face.
Talk about some of your teammates. Who are some names that fans should keep an eye on to watch this year to play? That's a fun player to watch that you've gotten to see in practice.
Definitely Jazz, our third baseman, so she'll be at the hot corner this year. I think Mandy, she's a transfer as well. Bree can too. She was on the team last year, and I think she's gonna be a big aspect for us. Um, some people in the circle, like Shelby, so she's gonna really be a big aspect for us in the circle. So that's just a few of the players, but I think everyone coming in is gonna be able to make a huge impact for the team, and I think everyone is gonna be able to, take us to the next level.
Who's the comedian of the team? Who's the one that can lighten the mood with a good joke, and that's the go-to? Has that been established yet on the team?
I think Jazz or Bree, they make the team laugh a little bit.
That's very good. How would you describe your personality to people there that they get to know you?
I'm very calm, chill. So like I open up to people when I get to know them. So just them knowing that they know like, oh, it takes a little bit to, get to my funny side because I kind of like shelter off a little bit. But I think everyone has seen my personality and like know who I am.
How would if you obviously there'll be a lot of fans coming to Houston this year, visiting
Mhm.
fans from the Big 12 and everything. You're a Houston native. What would you recommend people go to visit outside of going to a Houston softball game, of course? But what are some of the great setting you like about the city of Houston you would recommend people to go?
Um, I think all of Houston is just great to like visit and like downtown Houston. We have, mini NFL and we have, all the type of pro teams here. So I think that's a good, be a good thing to go scope out. But I think like the Turkey Leg Hut, that's a good little
Ooh.
restaurant people love down here. So I would
Oh,
recommend that one.
oh, see, I've not been there. I've been to Houston many a time. I've gone to a
Mhm.
bunch of Astros games, which I recommend. That's a beautiful
Yeah.
baseball park stadium. But I did not know about that. Expand on that the
Yeah,
place.
so it's in downtown Houston. It's called the Turkey Leg Hut. And like the lines like wrapped around. People love going there. And a lot of people who come visit, they love to go to the Turkey Leg Hut.
Ooh, all right, I'm writing that down. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. What did you have any favorite athletes, softball players in general you looked up to as you were growing up and playing sports?
Yeah, I looked up to Shay Knighton. She went to Oklahoma. So I really loved watching her play.
Pretty clutch player too. That's a
Oh yeah,
memorable
pretty
hit
good
there.
player.
Do you was that like your memory? What are some of your early memories of watching softball?
Definitely watching her play in the World Series. More specifically, one of the games they played against Alabama, she hit like a clutch home run. So watching her play definitely was one of the reasons I decided to, keep playing softball. I was like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. So she definitely helped my journey come along.
Yeah, nobody will ever forget that 17 inning marathon against Florida
Oh
where she
yeah.
helped win that game for Oklahoma there. How much do you feel now you're in the role of inspiring young people
Mhm.
as well? Is that something you kind of take realize there that somebody like Shay Knighton inspired you, now you get to inspire young people in the stands to hope maybe they can become softball players down the road.
Oh, definitely. Because I have younger siblings. So I have 9-year-old twins, brother and sister, and they already look up to me. And so I take that very seriously that they look up to me and they want to do the things I do. So I want to be, a good role model to all kids of their ages to know that they can do it and that they can, be in the spot that I am now.
What do you want to do past softball? Do you want to play professionally, number one? Is that something you shoot for? Have you thought about that? And if not, what do you want to do beyond softball?
Yeah, I definitely want to play a few years professionally, and then I want to be a coach. So I want to coach eventually at the collegiate level. And I do want to eventually maybe own like a facility, like a hitting facility or something like that. So I definitely want to stay in the softball world.
So you're hooked. You're hooked on the
Yeah.
sport moving forward. What got you interested in maybe going to coaching route or giving hitting lessons? What inspired you that?
Well, I help out with like Impact Gold. That's the travel team that I played for. So I help out with them a little bit. And I just love like working with the girls and seeing them improve and, seeing them look up and learn from me. So I really love, just that experience of being with around them. So I just want to, make that into my career.
That's fantastic. That's great.
Mhm.
Giving back to the game. That's a good for you on that front there. What when you've been around obviously the Houston campus right now. You've been around the Houston Athletics, so you've seen, for example, volleyball, football, basketball. They've all played so far in the Big 12. Have you gone to some of these games and if you've noticed the pickup in the atmosphere, the excitement
Oh,
around the
yes.
fan base? Or describe
Yes.
that.
So, playing in the Big 12 before and seeing like it come to our school is like just awesome. And I've watched volleyball games, basketball games, and even the football games and seeing like how the fans just get hyped now, like more hyped than they were before, because the games, just mean so much more that we are in the Big 12. So I just can't wait for, our softball team to experience that and see what it's like and be in that atmosphere.
Do you have some friends in the conference that are, you're going to be playing against that you're like, oh, we're good friends, but I got to beat you now once we play. Who are some of the close friends you got in the league?
Yeah, so obviously playing from Oklahoma, I know, most of them there, like Quincy Lilio and Riley Boone, those are my closest friends at Oklahoma. So it'll be fun getting to play against them. And just some of the girls like at Texas, like I played with them in travel ball or like against them. So being able to play against them now, at this high level would just be really exciting.
Are you or Hope going to be the tour person when you all go to Oklahoma? I mean, who's going to be the one that recommend where to eat there?
I'm gonna give it all to Hope. I'm gonna let Hope take that one.
Smart, very good move on that. A couple more things before we let you go. With this group, describe for those that are going to watch your team play. What do you want your people to see? What is Houston Cougars softball identity going to be?
We're just gonna come out electric. We're gonna be scrappy. We're gonna just be a team to watch because we are gonna be better in all aspects of the field. We're gonna be able to put defense, hit, and be good in the circle. So I think we're gonna be definitely a team to watch out for this year. We're probably gonna be as underestimated, be the underdogs, but I think we're definitely going to be a team to watch.
Is that something as a group you talk about, being the underdog, maybe a chip on the shoulder, get some respect? Is that something you can use as motivation?
Oh, definitely. And I think I used that last year. Coming into a new program, I feel like I had a chip on my shoulder. So I think as a team, that's how we're gonna feel going into the Big 12. Like we have a chip on our shoulder and that we're the underdogs. So that'll be fun.
Well, you got a lot of people's respect yourself last year because there were teams that didn't want to pitch to you and pitched around you. Like, did you notice that as the season went on and teams would pitch around you, didn't give you anything? Was that kind of frustrating, or like, but at the same time, it's the ultimate respect?
Yeah, I definitely started to notice that. When I started getting walked a little bit more. And I know that's a sign of respect. So I didn't really think too much in it or like get mad about it, but I definitely did notice.
You have such a great plate presence. Watching you in person, I was so impressed by your eyes. You have a great sense of the strike zone. You didn't swing away from the strike. Sometimes as a hitter, you get a little impatient and swing away. That was not you. You were over 500 on base, etc. Where did that all come from?
I think growing up, I always just had, a good eye of where the ball, the strike zone. And I think being a catcher allows me to know the strike zone a little bit better and, being able to watch the people in front of me or even like the other team hit and see what the umpire is calling. So you know what you can and you don't have to swing at.
That's interesting. Jada Cody of UCF has told me the same thing, that catching
Hmm.
actually helps her as a hitter because you have a sense of the strike zone. I did not know that, but that you verify that you actually
Yeah.
like the fact, because there's some catchers that obviously it's a physical position and
Hmm.
sometimes it affects their hitting, but you're saying it benefits you
Yes,
because it knows
definitely.
the strike zone. That's interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely benefits because you're able to see the ball like you kind of see it as a pitcher standpoint because you work with the pitcher so closely. So I just see like I can tell what the umpire wants, what he doesn't want, and so that actually helps me as a hitter.
What's going to be the keys for your team to have success this season? Or what are a couple things that you all working on that you think is going to be a key?
Definitely playing as a unit. So we're gonna, try to be as one team and not, little players. We're gonna all be one. And I think being the team that's going to do the little things right. So we're going to be able to do all aspects of the game, which is going to make us scrappy. So I think that's the word that I think I could describe our team as. We're going to be a scrappy team that does the little things right to get the wins.
There are going to be a lot of fans out there to watch you play this season, and maybe people haven't been to softball before. What message would you like to give those fans and Houston Cougar fans that are come out to your ballpark this year to watch you play?
Definitely to keep going. Like the little girls that are, playing and trying to get into position that we are, I would say to keep going. Every season might not be the season you want it to be in travel ball and collegiate level, but keep working at it and you'll get there.
That's Turiya Coleman joining us here on In the Circle, star player for the Houston Cougars for all Big 12 preseason honors. And it's certainly an honor to have her on the show. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us and getting to know you. And keep up the great success you've been playing. It's just, as I say, you're a fun player to watch. So really a pleasure to get to talk to you. Good luck this season. Have fun. And I'm sure we'll cross paths down the road. But thanks for taking a few minutes to talk to us.
Thank you for having me.